thank you very much for being an electrical. I really appreciate that. Now, if you're new here and what we do interests you, please don't forget to subscribe, to like. Okay. Now, today we are looking at contactor. Okay, and I'm very sure most of you have ever encountered contactor and you probably know how to use it. Okay, but let us understand what's really a contactor. How would you define it? So a contactor, it's an electrical device, okay, that is used for, switching circuits, okay? And these circuits majorly can be, lights, motors, and so on and so forth, okay? So these contactors, they can also be called a relay because technically their role is more like the same, okay? But the only difference is that a contactor, handles, a bit higher, current capacity. And then if you look at the relay, even the video we did previously, it's only 16 amps rating of its contact, okay? So it's only for control circuits or any other circuit that it's not more than 10 amps, okay? But a contactor, they are rated from as low as 10 amps to as high as 600 amps. It depends on the application and where you're going to use it for, okay? All right, now, how does it operate? Okay, now, we have this, what we call electromagnet, okay? So these contactors use what we call electromagnet. Now you have a coil right here in the contactor. Each contactor, it houses a coil. That's why it's called the electromagnet, because there is no permanent magnet here. You must supply it with current, and then it will create that. So this coil, if you supply it with current, definitely it will, create this electromagnet, and in turn, this produces magnetic field, okay? And this magnetic field operates, the armature, because there is what we call an iron core inside here in the contactor, and then that one pulls the armature because it's spring-loaded. We can have some reality here. So you can have something like this, okay? Something like that. So this contactor here is it's spring loaded. So now you'll have a spring right here, okay? Now you have okay. Now our contactor looks like this, okay? Now this one is a coil, okay? So we have a coil right here. Around here, this coil that I showed you. So now this coil, it has got terminals, and you have L here and you have N here. Normally becomes A1 and A2, okay? So most of the contactors they normally have 4 poles, okay? There are those that are 3-pole, but they normally have 4 poles. Now, if you look at this, It's a 4-pole, and all of them, they are normally open, okay? So, but because we also need normally closed sometimes, so you'll have to have an auxiliary contact that you hook on your contactor, okay? So this is what happened. Now, if you give this coil a supply that's alive and neutral, if it is 240, if the coil is 415, then you'll have two phases here. You won't need a neutral, okay? All right. Now you see that we have contacts here that are open, and the one that are closed. Both of them, they are linked, okay? So if this coil energized, remember it's spring loaded, okay? This contactor now, it's in open position. That's why you're able to push it and it comes back. So it's spring loaded, okay? Now, if you supply it, if you give it supply right here, so it pulls this armature here, and then it could, because now it has created a magnetic field in this core here, so definitely it will pull this armature and it will sit, it will push this, the spring, and it sits down, okay? And when it does that, it closes here, because you see, it has been, permanently connected to these contacts. So the contacts will move together with it. So you see that the normally closed will open, and then normally open will close. But of course, most of the contactors now, like exactly this ABB one, you see 4-pole also, but normally closed. So if you needed normally open, if you need it normally closed, you will have an auxiliary contact that you hook here, okay? Now, of course, we have parts here. So this contactor has, like 3 parts. So it has a coil or electromagnet, then it has enclosure, okay? And then the other thing is a contacts. So you have a contact inside, like I said earlier, that is connected to that armature, okay? And that armature, it's being controlled by this, that if the contactor is not energized, it will be pushed up, or else it will be kept in open position, okay? So where do we use these contactors? Of course, contactors are majorly used to operate, motors, okay, more especially. But these days, you can use them in so many things. For example, let me give you an example. If you want to control security lights, there are many, and these floodlights, they also draw more current. So you're not going to use these normal switches. Of course, it's not possible, okay? That's a lot of current for a switch of 5 amps or 10 amps. So you'll have to use a contactor that will help you to, to carry all that load for you, okay? So that's cool. Okay, I think that has been it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, to like and share. And sharing, you share to only those people whom you think that this kind of content works for them, okay? Hope my mic didn't distract you, because my lavalier mic got a problem. That's why I had to hold this. So my apology if that inconvenienced you, okay? Thank you very much. Until next time, I'm out.